Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your reading for what I would normally say is the week ahead, but this is for the year ahead. As we're coming to the end of 2024, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to do a yearly forecast reading for the sign of Libra. So here we go. We start with dun dun dun, the Tower. Ordinarily, the Tower can indicate sudden changes, bolts out of the blue, things that are very disruptive. As we have this at the beginning of your reading, the very first card, the thought that actually came to mind is we're clearing the way. We're almost clearing the table. We're getting rid of what no longer serves us. So the beginning of the year being a really, really helpful time to have a clear out, an energetic clear out. That may also filter over into the home, into our relationships, into our possessions, into every aspect of our lives. It's a kind of almost opening the windows, letting the wind wash through our house and just blowing out, bringing fresh new energy into everything. I'm talking more metaphorically there, but if that aligns, feels great. But January is probably a little bit too cold to do that. But it does feel that this is a necessary process. If we don't clear the way, if we don't get rid of what no longer is serving us, then it's almost that we can't necessarily start. You may also find that as you've got the Tower right at the beginning, that there could be some surprises, there could be some not necessarily unfortunate news, but news that is a bit of a shock. This can very much what the Tower represents. And as disruptive as that may be, and as shocking as some of that may be, it may also act as a reminder that nothing in life is predictable, that we never really know what's going to happen. And the upshot of that, the positive aspect of that, is it really makes us embrace the here and now. It also shows us that, well, God may reign, it may rain on the best, it may rain on the best laid plans, is what I'm trying to say. So we may very much have a very fixed idea of what the year ahead is going to look like. I would say relinquish that, let go of control, just embrace, well, what may come, may come. This is one of the helpful aspects of sudden changes. Is yes, it can sometimes be disruptive, yes, it can sometimes make us feel unsure-footed, but it can also give us a glimpse and give us an understanding of, do you know what, anything may happen tomorrow, so I may as well make the best of today. And this is the feeling of it. I just want to go back to it for a moment about clearing the way for you consciously to, as I mentioned, it may be a good decluttering time, not only in terms of things, but also in terms of unhelpful things, habits, or where are you placing your energies that perhaps haven't best served you for a while. It really feels like going back to basics. That's a really good way to describe it. Going back to basics, only taking the best bits and leaving the rest. So your first parts of the year, maybe January, February, up to probably about March, that first quarter, I would really recommend that be your focus, is how do I simplify? How do I collate everything into its most simple and raw form? Because then you come to the Nine of Pentacles, which is the Lord of Material Gain. You have two cards that are the same as, I hope I'm right here, is Leo. So it would be very worth checking out their video as well when it's released, because there'll be more on this interplay between the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, the Lord of Great Strength. This middle bit of your reading feels really lovely, particularly with the Nine of Pentacles. That Lord of Material Gain is enjoying the finer things in life. We've also got the Six of Cups, the Lord of Pleasure. So those things in combination feels really, really nice. There's a message here with the Six of Cups about, are we open to receive that pleasure? Obviously, Libra is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of beauty and the planet of love. Are we open to beauty? Are we receptive to beauty? Are we receptive to the pleasures that life can bring us? Or are we getting into this miserly headspace, or this place of lack, or this kind of false martyrdom at times of going, oh no, I don't deserve that? Or are we cutting ourselves off unnecessarily from the pleasures that universe wants to bring us? So this is indicative of generosity, generosity of spirit to others, and also to be able to receive other people's generosity. One of the cards that I pulled, normally I only pull the tarot cards, but here I wanted to use an oracle deck as well for a more rounded reading. So I'm using the Daily Crystals deck, Daily Crystal Inspiration deck from Heather Askinosi. And your card here, I love this, is you can just about see it, is the pink opal, and the message is be kind to yourself. And I think that's such an important thrust for the year, particularly as we come to that Six of Cups energy of the Lord of Pleasure. Where are you unnecessarily self-sabotaging? Where are you cutting yourself off from pleasure, or cutting yourself off from compassion? Are you giving yourself a hard time? Are you beating yourself up? Or are you slightly holding yourself back? It's like, oh no, I don't deserve that, I don't need that. Oh, maybe for other people. It's great with Libra because you're so good at keeping things balanced and playing mediator and moderator and making sure that everybody around you feels very, very balanced. This is a year in some ways, and I'm going to choose my words carefully here, but this is the year for you to be selfish, ultimately. Now, being Libra, I'm sure this is a bit of a moot point. I don't necessarily have to say this because I think you're always aware of what other people might need around you. But that doesn't mean that you can be selfish to such a degree that it's about you and only you. But you can be selfish in terms of, is there something you need that you've been putting on delay? The pink opal energy is very much linked with the heart, and it's about our emotional needs, our sensitivities, our enjoyments. I would really prioritize in that case self-care. I would really prioritize, yeah, just how can I be kinder on myself? How can I cut myself some slack? And particularly those activities, hobbies, or therapies that bring that sense of compassion, that kindness to yourself. Really luxuriate in those. For me, my go-to is I love to put my crystals on me, put on a sound bath, and just lie there and just enjoy that. Or sometimes I just love going with my partner, with my husband, and spending the day out in nature, whatever it might be. But really, really prioritize these things for you. Um, it's I, just be slightly mindful that you're not giving too much in 2025. Again, there's a bit of there's some talk about boundaries, and there's some talk about occasionally people dress up boundaries as actually being a bit selfish and inconsiderate. So there is that to be mindful of and aware of. But it's if actually it's a choice between, I suppose the question to be asking is, am I giving too much? And if so, how can I be kinder to myself? I say a lot of this because you've got the Nine of Wands as well, the Lord of Great Strength. You can see he feels a bit looks a bit battle worn and a bit tired. So again, there may be these feelings, but it's so nice that it's the Lord of Strength. So even in these kind of sometimes tough experiences and these difficult experiences, they ultimately make us grow. These are it's gonna be quite a big year for you, Libra, personally. And I mean that in terms of personal identity, in terms of who you are as a person. Very likely to come out of the year feeling different about yourself, different about the world, different about your other relationships, and then going in. I say a lot of this because not only do you have the Tower card, but you've also got the Judgment card. And they're very, very similar in many ways because it's about the universe intervening. Sorry, I'm just getting my dog's chew. Sometimes intervening in our lives. The Judgment card often talks about personal renaissances, but also responding to the call. So those things that have been kind of tugging and like niggling at your heart for a long while, those things that have just been in the back of your mind, in the recesses of your mind that seemingly won't go away. So they might be things that have just um, been just bubbling under the surface, or it may be things that come in very, very quickly. This sudden surge of energy, this sudden surge of realization. That's a great word for your year. There are lots and lots of realizations. And some of those may be unsettling. Some of those might be quite surprising, but then feeling as though it's bringing you into greater alignment. Therefore, don't be surprised if you have sudden changes of perspectives on who you are, what it is you love to do, about relationships. It's again not about maintaining the status quo. The Tower and the Judgment card do not allow you to do that. So any changes that are coming, go with them, move with them. And even if they're coming in quite quick and unexpectedly, we can kind of dismiss them and think, oh, I'm going mad. I'm just, these are kind of flights of fancy. And um, I would say, no, it isn't. These are revelations, personal revelations that are going on. And even if they seem as though they've come about quickly, they probably have been on a rolling boil for a while, but have suddenly upsurged to such a point that we can no longer ignore them. So because of that, it might feel quite unsettling. It might require some drastic changes at particular points, but those that are able to follow that path are, as I say, more likely to feel integrated. They're more likely to feel closer to their dharma, their purpose, or what it is they're meant to be doing. Pay particular attention to those things that feel a little bit out of balance, or those things that feel particularly misaligned, actually, is a better way to describe it. And again, because of that Nine of Wands, him looking a bit unsure, a bit unnerved, but it being the Lord of Strength, it's the courage and strength in order to enact some of these changes. And through that process, being gentle and kind on yourself. There may be times where you feel as though you're disappointing people or letting people down or not living up to their expectations. What I would say to that is, it is your life to live. So whatever feels most aligned to you and your heart, that's all you can do. All you can ever do is be true to yourself, right? And this is a big call for you to do exactly that within 2025, because you're a keeper of the peace, because you tried to find that middle ground. It's not always an easy thing for you to do, but by gosh, is it necessary? So I hope that helps. If you want more and you'd like greater clarification on your year ahead, I would highly, highly recommend that you go and check out your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign for a complete reading on 2025. But until next week, I wish you an amazing, amazing end of the year, and I'll see you in 2025. Bye for now.